Hey, Doug.
Good morning. I thought I'd sit here and work on my books while we were waiting for the meeting.
You are good. I just like to make sure that the computers, I actually just lost internet and had a huge panic moment, but it's come back. So we're good. So yeah, do your thing. I'm doing mine. Hey, Eileen, how are you?
Good morning.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. A little dreary this morning, but
I know. Christina, I see that we have Doug with us. Hi, Doug.
Good morning.
How are you?
Upright on top of the grass and not on a ventilator. How are you?
life is good, Doug. Life is good.
Correct.
Listen, a little bit of housekeeping just with Christina. The election results, because I don't know if we did an agenda or not. Are we going to go over those formally today, or just you're just going to mention them in your remarks?
Yeah, I realized I have not done a formal agenda. I should probably start doing that and sending it out ahead of time. So
I can help you with that. I'm glad to, because I know I'm always scurrying to get you the name of the speaker. So I'm happy to help with that.
We're all scurrying. I get that. So yeah, we can finalize that when the board meets next week, but that would be great.
Okay.
Just to put it in all down on paper.
Okay.
So yes, I thought I would go over the board, thank the outgoing, welcome the incoming.
Okay, wonderful.
And then let me figure out how to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. There used to be
a hammer would work for that,
Yeah. Oh, there are some days for sure. Oh, I don't know.
So we're watching the protocols closely as the numbers are ticking up.
Eileen, I was thinking about you guys. I mean, I'm pretty well connected to the nursing home scene from the health department calls I do, but I imagine for you guys, this is a whole new level of alertness and attentiveness, and the holidays and your caregivers and what they're doing. My heart goes out to all of you.
It's challenging, but we kind of we've been through this before, so it doesn't feel brand new this time.
True. Good point.
So we're kind of just, we assume that every person we care for is COVID positive. Like we just assume that level of precaution. So when the numbers go up, we just have to highlight a lot of those protocols.
Right. Oh my goodness.
It's challenging.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, with this population, it's very challenging. And the nursing homes, they just have done a brilliant job. I'm so proud of them. We've had a lot of fun doing little snack shacks for them, just showing up for their staff and having some trunk or treating. And
That's fun, Eileen.
I'm so impressed with their staff, and they all come out, like everybody from maintenance and kitchen.
Uh-huh.
I can't tell you how many people, we're just there to thank them for
Right.
working with seniors in a tough time. I can't tell you how many of them say, oh, I love it. Oh, I love them.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They have to stay in it. I mean, at this point, the workplace is so stressful. The requirements on them are so heavy.
They
You
are.
know, like you've got to love it to keep coming back. You could easily, we know, could make more at 7-Eleven.
Right.
So it is, that fills my heart. You know,
Oh,
the
yeah.
people that are still
Absolutely.
there are the people, they've probably weeded out the ones who were there just for a job.
I'm sure they
Which
tapped
is
out.
good. Yeah. So,
Yeah. So
um,
I've been having fun, just so much fun, because these are people we don't normally get to see.
yeah,
Like
that's fun, Eileen. What a
kitchen
great way
staff
to
and the
reach
maintenance.
out.
It's so easy and fun, and I've joined with some partners, and they just, but I've loved meeting them and their responses, how they love their residents. Oh, it just, everybody should get to do it. It's really been
Yeah, that's
wonderful.
fun. Good for you. That's great. And I know, at this point, I'm quite certain that we are not going to be opening anytime soon, right? I mean, if they didn't let us open before, they're certainly not going to let us open now.
I
Or at
know.
least that's kind of what I'm banking on, and I'd be shocked. There's a new Secretary of Health, obviously, that's going to be named, so who knows how that might change things. But what was I going to say? Oh, I'm grateful to you. Right at Home, I've got a bunch of folks with Right at Home now, and other
Yeah.
home care agencies. You know, I'm just so sad about my families and what's happening to them, and
Me too.
grateful when we can connect them to somebody or when they're finally open to that. But and to know that there's other eyes in there.
Yeah, but adult day, there's just too much movement in and out. You
my
know, like
God.
you can't
Yeah.
contain them.
No, as much as they can contain an AL in nursing home, I have no control. But you know, where these people are coming from, who they're in
Right.
contact with.
Exactly.
Ay, ay, ay.
Doug, are
Yeah,
you on the water? Because I'm very jealous. I'm
yeah,
gonna,
Doug, that looks pretty good.
That's the view from my dock. I live on Lake Heritage in Gettysburg. So that's
That
a
is-
picture.
So
I
that
took
is
from
for
my
real.
dock.
That's not one of Troy's Airbnb backgrounds. That's legit.
Yeah, that's legit.
Nice.
oh, that's nice. It's a beautiful view.
I have a couple of other ones that are legit. This one is from
Oh,
my growing up campground in the Adirondacks.
beautiful.
And then this one is the St. Lawrence River, where my dad's friend used to live, and that's Canada, obviously, across there.
Wow.
But I figured I'd go with this one today.
Yep, that's nice.
What lake is that?
This one that I'm on now is Lake Heritage in Gettysburg.
Like Heritage. Okay, looks beautiful. Anything near the water, right?
Yep.
Oh.
Although this summer was horrible because we couldn't use the lake at all because of the, oh, look at the reflection in my glasses.
Oh, yeah.
We all have that.
That's a little better. Yeah. Well, these are new glasses. That's why I'm looking at it. But we had a real problem with algae and toxic bacteria all summer long.
Oh,
So
no.
we pretty much couldn't use the lake at all this year. And of course, in March or April, when they start treating, they're like, no treating of the lake because everything shut down.
Ah.
Right. And I'm like, what? You're out on the lake by yourself in a boat.
Yeah.
Really, pretty low risk.
Yeah, pretty low risk.
Pretty low risk. Oh, goodness gracious. I don't know. I can only try to be optimistic that this vaccine will bring some kind of relief.
Yep. Rain.
Oh, no.
What do you think, Doug?
I'm just starting to pay attention to that now. I haven't looked at it yet, but there's been a whole lot of talk and politicalizing. I don't know how to say that word.
Yeah.
The whole vaccine thing. And I thought, well, when somebody comes out with some real numbers, then I'll start looking at it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
So I haven't looked at it. I've been catching up on my books this last week, so I haven't seen much of anything else.
Yeah.
probably just as well. It's the same churn of news.
Yeah, exactly.
It has
Just
been,
a
wow.
little bit of a different twist, maybe.
But yeah, really, the whole year. I mean, you really can hardly put it into words what it's, I was thinking about every year we do a Christmas letter. And probably more important because we probably won't see the people we usually see for Christmas. But I was thinking, oh, what am I going to write about?
I know.
It's yikes.
Yeah. Yep.
Hello, this is Christina. Hey, I'm good, Lindsay. How are you? No, I meant to call you back. I was in class. No big deal. Yeah, so I want to talk to Aetna and just clarify what my coverage would be and if that is an option, or if they're going to force me to do it with the dentist. So if I could just give you a call back later once I connect with them, that would be awesome. Perfect. Okay, great. Thanks. Bye-bye. Hey, Troy.
Good morning.
You know, I'm going to go ahead and make you and Eileen co-host just so we've got some backup.
Okay. That works.
I panicked. Literally, I was in at 8:30. I pulled it up just to kind of make sure my camera shot was okay. And I heard a beep, and I'm having trouble with my alarm panel here, and I assumed it was that. And then I went to go back into Zoom and discovered I had no internet. Like, oh, it's 20 up. Like, what am I gonna? I'm like, oh, where's Troy's number? Hopefully somebody else can log into Zoom and make this happen. So I called Execunet, and while I was on the phone with them, it must have been some external glitch because while I was on the phone, it popped back up. But
they didn't say what it was. It just came back up.
it just came back. I'm not
All right.
asking questions. I've got
Hi,
this
Troy. What is
now in the other
Morning.
webinar tonight. So internet is key.
Yeah, for the compass. What is your background, Troy?
You know, I just picked this one up the other day, and it looks like a nice, beautiful, airy marketplace somewhere.
Nice.
It does. Yeah.
It's better than a overcast and rainy day.
It is.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Good
How are you
morning.
today? You're looking good. The last few times we've seen you, you've been in like walk mode. So
I did my hair
you
for
look
it.
like you might have slept a little bit.
I thought about wearing a walk t-shirt, but I'm ready to take a little bit of a break from purple for a couple days, maybe. Doug, I love your background.
Thank you. That's my doc.
Yeah, so we just confirmed that's legit. That's not
That's
like
legit.
Nice.
fantasy travel.
Man,
Now
I
here,
gotta
let
step
me see
up.
if let me actually turn this off here.
Who have we got on the telephone?
This is what I'm looking out my window right there.
Nice.
Oh,
Where
nice.
is that?
Lake Heritage in Gettysburg.
Oh,
I didn't know that was there. And you're
The
like up
the
20
secret is
minutes
out.
road from me.
We didn't either. We were seasonal campground RV folks here for about 4 years before we discovered it.
Nice.
And it's right across from the outlets. So
No
that's a
way.
reference point that most people are can think of, or can relate to, I guess.
Yeah,
Right
which
up 97?
I'm sorry.
Is that up 97?
It is. It's at 97 and 15.
Oh my, well, the
Who
things
knew?
you learn by coming to the ESPC
See?
meeting.
We aim to please.
There you go.
That's our new tagline, I think.
That's my
There you
takeaway
go.
for today. Are we
Good.
done?
Yeah, that's it. Good morning, Rhonda.
Morning.
Hi, everybody. Who's on the telephone?
Hi, I'm Doug Profiter. This is my first meeting.
Oh, Doug, welcome. Nice to have you.
Yeah, sorry I'm not on the computer. I don't have any internet right now.
You
Not
are
sure what's
good.
going on.
Yeah, actually, I had the
wait.
same problem just moments ago. So we're glad to have you. That's great. We'll just wait a while everybody rolls in.
Good morning,
How are-
everyone. Oh, Chris King on.
How you doing, Chris?
Hey, Chris.
I'm
Morning.
well, thank you. Good morning, all.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Linda.
Good morning.
Elmer.
Elmer.
Elmer, how's married life treating you?
Aw.
It's doing good so far. I survived the first month.
Excellent. I think that's still the honeymoon phase.
Yes.
I know, and Corona is still messing it up. I can't go anywhere. The borders are closed.
What a crazy, crazy time to have those moments in life, those celebrations. So different.
Right? But it's definitely weird saying the word husband. That I can tell you.
Aw.
Good for you, Elmer. That's great.
Thank you.
Remember, marriage is a journey.
Amen.
Maybe we could start a support group for newlyweds.
Oh
Give-
God, I will spearhead that.
Give them our sage advice.
Yeah, who's got the longest marriage? Linda, I'm gonna guess you and Scott. How many years?
33 years this month.
Yeah, that beats me.
Anybody longer than 33?
You mean in one marriage?
Oh,
We combine two.
Huh.
I'm with Linda if I can combine first and second.
I think that's still pretty impressive. My dad, we used to joke with my dad and his first wife about that. Morning, Rayanne.
Good morning.
Hey, Jenny.
Hi.
And too. Hi, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Excellent. We'll just wait a few more minutes. Hopefully everybody's doing well. A little slow to get moving on this dreary day. We can't complain. The weather, this has been a spectacular fall, honestly. And I keep saying, I don't know if it's because I've been home more to appreciate it or if it really has been that much nicer, but it's been beautiful.
That's a great point, though, Christina. That's a really good point. Like if we were locked in our offices and, we might not notice as much. Hi,
Rayanne,
Lisa.
you've been in your office. What would you say? Better fall or?
Say that again.
I said you are one who probably has been locked in your office and not working from home like a lot of us. So would you say it's been a nicer fall, even if you're working all the time?
Oh yeah, it's been beautiful.
It has. Yeah. Really, really nice. Hey, Lisa.
I don't know what I'd do if I had to be at home every day.
Well, we could hold a support group on that too.
Yeah.
Would that be a virtual support group from your home?
Yes, it would have to be, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But Doug, you'd have to be there so we could look at the water.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, the other part that you missed is that we couldn't use the lake all summer because it was toxic bacteria and algae covered all summer long. And of course, our governor said, "Oh, being out on the boat by yourself is not safe during COVID, so you can't treat the lake or anything."
So are you trying to dissuade us for not coming up there now?
That's what it is.
Well, it looks great now. Water's fine. If you want to go swimming, I'm sure it's fine.
That's all right.
In fact, we've had a lot of folks out on the water on the last several days, so trying to make up for the summertime.
Because I'm late, Doug, which lake are we talking about?
Lake Heritage in Gettysburg, close
Thank
to the
you.
mountains.
Close to my house, McGean.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I see an ESPC social in the making someday.
There is a pavilion that's used just for that.
Oh, excellent. Hey, I just noticed the chat. You guys feel free to put in your, hellos and contact information, and congratulations, Jenny Pearson, on a recent marriage as well. That's awesome. Very good. So we were, those of you who just jumped on, we were congratulating Elmer on his marriage, which happened, I think, right after our last ESPC meeting. Yeah. And we're chatting about marriage longevity. So we will go ahead and get started. A small group today.
Everybody.
Happy to see everybody. So yeah, go ahead, use that chat to say hello. I'm going to go ahead and click. Oh, we are recording. There we go. So Welcome, everybody. Good to see you. We've got Doug Profiter on the phone. I think everybody else we can see or see their names. So Doug, we're really glad to have you. We will do introductions at the end of our meeting today if we have time, which I presume that we will. I don't have a whole lot of business to attend to and the people that I wanted to say thank you to, those folks who have left the board. Wanted to extend my thanks to Lauren McGraw, treasurer, certainly probably the most challenging position on the ESPC board. So I want to thank Lauren for her service for the last 4 years, and Amanda Crawford, who was our member at large. So hopefully they will continue to stay connected to ESPC. And a huge thank you to Angela Martin for grabbing the treasurer position. Lisa Flannery, thank you for staying on board as vice president. And Katrina Wolf for taking on that member at large position. So really happy. Troy, did I forget anybody?
The Elder Expo position?
Oh yeah, Bonnie Elliott, who will be our liaison for the Expo / Compass for Caregiver committee. So that will be great. So none of them are here today, but we're very happy. The board is meeting next week, so hopefully we can get connected and go forward. So thank you to that. Today, we're happy to have Doug, who's sitting lakeside. Doug, thank you for joining us. Doug, what would you say, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, joined your first ESPC meeting?
I think it's about right, yeah.
So Eileen, did you have any words you wanted to open with, or just
that I'm there? Everybody get your notes ready, whether on your notes on your iDevice or writing or whatever, you're an Android person, whatever it might be, because we are very excited to have a provider that actually makes house calls. Doug has just a great heart for this community. He has a heart for the LGBT community who are often isolated in this season of their lives. And so with no more ado, I'd like to introduce Doug Brown with Mason Dixon Mobile Medicine.
Oh, holy cow, I'm up already. All right. So I did put together a little bit of I have this thing that I had put together before. Let me make sure that we can do it and you're going to see it. And at the end, there's a little bit of a video. Can you see my screen? I can't tell if you can or not.
Yes.
I can see it. We're just loading.
It's
yeah,
loading, right?
And maybe I've got your internet provider now, because I just tested this with my own personal Zoom. I don't know, just a few minutes ago, right? Oh my! Oh, you know what? It's probably because I'm doing too much. Well, let me go over here and use my other one as my cheat sheet. And so my name is Doug Brown. I'm a physician assistant. As Eileen said, I do house calls for Medicare Part B patients at this point. Anybody who, and I also take Aetna insurance, but I also will entertain folks who are, I'm going to get rid of the screen share because 404, there we go, yay. Folks who are underinsured or uninsured. I just actually connected with somebody through the health department recently about seeing somebody who's homeless, as she sort of starts to deal with situations. And so I'm really upset that this Prezi thing isn't going to work for me. A quick history on me. I started in medical field back when I was 16. I started riding the ambulance in Howard County when I was in high school. And that sort of led into joining the military and the Air Force. I was a medic for a handful of years, but you know, as many young guys do, young boys, they want to be like their dad. So I got out of the service and I did computer engineering for 25 years, but I was always involved in the fire department and EMS. And then along about the end of a long story, 9/11, I decided I was wasting my life doing that. And I quit my job, and I finished my undergrad at Hood College at the, 42, 43, 45, somewhere in there. They all blend together after a while. And then I went to Shenandoah University for my PA school. I've been a PA since 2008. And since then, I've practiced what I call, or what I'm stealing a phrase from one of my compatriots, who he called it career ADD. I've been in everything from family medicine to addictions to emergency medicine to neurology and neurosurgery. And I worked in a free clinic, which was really my true love. I worked there for about 3 years in Loudoun County. What else have I done? Corrections medicine. I think that's about it. And so along this journey, I connected, actually right out of school, I connected with John Middleton, who is the medical director of Carroll Hospice in Westminster, who is my current supervising physician. And he really helped to solidify some of the things, the fundamental approach that I have to medicine, and which was really given a background when I went to undergrad at Hood. They're really good at teaching people about thanatology, their death and dying, and the end stages of life. And then so John Middleton really helped me put this into a perspective of sort of why do we want to do all these extreme measures and make people uncomfortable at the end of their lives when all they really want to do, possibly, I don't know what they want to do unless they tell me, is just live out their life in peace. You know, one of the conversations I have a lot is about MOLST forms. I don't know if you're familiar with those, medical orders for life-sustaining treatments, and then advanced directives. And the MOLST form, I tell people, this is what the medics are going to use if they come in. If they come in and find you unconscious, right? They're going to do, if you don't have this form, they're going to beat on your chest, they're going to stick tubes in your throat, they're going to start IVs, they're going to give you drugs. And then if you survive all that, that's when the advanced directives come into place. And whether you are conscious or not makes a really big difference. And how do you want those people to treat you, and what do you want done? And so that's kind of the focus I'd had from my early medical career. And then a couple of years ago, Frostburg State University started a physician assistant program based out of their USMH facility in Hagerstown. And so I was on faculty there. And of course, like the true late life student, I'm like, oh, I get free tuition for a while. Let's go for the educational doctorate. And that's when I started really becoming more interested in I guess the finer points of underserved populations, equity, inclusivity, those kind of things. And so my dissertation topic is going to be on equity and inclusivity and the lived experiences of non-binary or LGBT populations surrounding hospice and palliative care, whether they were lived to survive or survive to be discharged from hospice, or they're a family member, their partner, their husband, their wife, you know, whatever, their family, whatever they decide their family is, how their family was treated by people that were providing them care, whether it's the administrative care, whether it's the medical care, and how that experience was. And so that's what my focus is on my dissertation. And fortunately in Maryland, they let PAs own their own business. And so I started this practice with the help of a colleague in Montgomery County, and she's been really my #1 champion and my biggest mentor. And she's been helping me through this a lot. And so I reached out through a couple of different places, and I started this business. And so what I do for these Medicare patients is, hang on a second. Oh, now my hot tub guy calls, right? I've been waiting for a month for this guy to call. Now he finally calls, and they said again this afternoon, but it's morning. Sorry. So the upshot is I do primary care services for anybody that needs it who's a Medicare beneficiary. Instead of you going to your doctor's office or your PA's office, I would come to your home and do that. And so anybody, Medicare did a few studies, and I think at the beginning of last year, they decided anybody who's a beneficiary can get a house call. Prior to that, it used to be medical necessity, well, proof of homebound status. It's still medical necessity. I can't just go to somebody's house once a week because, you know, I think it's time to see them. But if they call me and say, would you come and see me? And absolutely, I will do that. And so that's your typical relationship for primary care. But the biggest part is the chronic care management. And we've talked about people who can't get out of the house to see their doctor. It takes what I call an act of family. You know, brothers, sisters, daughters, sons, parents even have to get time off of work and arrange transportation, and it takes 10, 15, 20 minutes to get the person out to the car and that whole 9 yards. And it's only to bring the patient into an artificial environment where they're going to tell the provider, oh yeah, I'm doing this, or I'm not doing this, you know, I'm doing what I'm supposed to, I'm not doing what I'm not supposed to. And that doesn't really provide the best care. And so going into the homes and seeing the patient in their element really is of benefit for that, for their long-term care. Keeps them out of the hospital as well. One of the things I just was preparing for this morning with the presentation that I can't show is that around 2015, 2016, Medicare determined that increasing payments for house calls actually and chronic care management decreased overall costs by reducing inpatient and long-term care stays, rehab stays, by about $74 per beneficiary per month, right, over a period of 18 months. I didn't do the math, but that's a whole lot of money that they saved. And even though everything usually comes down to economics, imagine the improved quality of life that folks in that situation have had. And so chronic care management involves things like diabetes, hypertension, heart failure, asthma, COPD. I can come to the house and we can talk about all those things, and I can see what the patient is doing. Prescribe the medications, order the lab studies. We can even order ultrasounds and x-rays at home, EKGs, those kind of things. And if the patient needs wound care or just home nursing, there's a couple of folks here today that I work with very closely on that. Physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, those kind of things. I can order all those and oversee them and coordinate. And I've visited several patients together with the home health agencies just so that we're on the same page right in the moment. Another part of chronic care management is up and coming, and being a tech guy, this is interesting to me. It's called remote patient monitoring, where patients can get blood pressure cuffs or scales. For heart failure, weight is really important to monitor on a daily basis. And the blood pressure, that's a fairly simple thing. Everybody that has high blood pressure, we could just put a blood pressure cuff in their house. Personally, when I go for my commercial driver's license physical every year, my blood pressure is through the roof. There's nothing I can do to make it go down. But when I sit here and do it at home, it's fine. And so having these blood pressures done at home really helps to be able to monitor the blood pressure more efficiently and more correctly. And I can get the information sent real time to my EHR and take a look at it every so often. And I'll get a call from the device people. And they'll say, oh yeah, this patient's blood pressure was whatever it was. What do you want us to do? Or what should they do? And so that sort of stuff really benefits in the moment. You don't have to wait for 6 or 8, 10 weeks like I did before. Let me see your blood pressure log, or let me see your glucose log or your weight log. And then so one of the other things that I do is transitional care management. And that's something that people, when they come home from a residential facility, whether it's a hospital visit or a long-term or even a short-term rehab, whether it's a medical or psychiatric, I'm thinking that might even extend to addiction rehab facility, as long as it's a residential. I'm still investigating that. And so I would help get them, make sure they've got all their prescriptions, they understand what they're supposed to take, what they're not supposed to take. I can write the prescriptions for those things that they need and they don't have prescriptions for. I can order the additional lab test. I can make sure that the home health order seems sort of right for them. And then beyond that, once that transition is completed, give them education, the caregiver, the patient as well, education on their condition, how to adapt to their new life at home. There's a little bit of overlap with the nursing stuff, but I touch at it at a higher level, and they do it really on the day-to-day basis. And so at the end of that transitional care period, the patient can do any number of things. I can just serve as a primary or a specialist eyes and ears, go out and do a physical exam and report, talk to them on the phone, see how the patient's doing, pick up some guidance for longer term care. Or I could pick up the patient as a primary care patient, which is the most common scenario. I've had several patients who have been discharged from hospice. they were doing pretty poorly. They got admitted to hospice. Now they have all the care and attention that they've really been lacking. And then they're discharged, and now they don't have a primary care provider. And so I serve that role. And another, one of the very first patients I had was a guy who basically contracted COVID. He was admitted to the hospital, just narrowly missed being intubated, but was in ICU for a while. And then he went home, he was discharged to a skilled nursing facility that he really did not like. And so he's like, I want to come home. I'm going to pay for whatever you need. And so I got contacted by a home health agency, and we basically set up the third floor of his house for a rehab at his house for COVID. And I was going to show a picture of what I had in the back of my car for my portable decon station. I had full PPE, not a shower, but everything else, right? Gloves, soap and water and hand sanitizer, and a little tent to change in my clothes if I needed to, the whole 9 yards. Fortunately for him, he really recovered very quickly. We had no idea what his situation was when he came out of the hospital and the rehab, because they weren't giving us any records. But really within a week he was fine, and he had the resources. Turns out he was some sort of a contractor that had access to people that clean buildings at the hospital grade. And so they came and cleaned his house after they were done. And so he went back to his primary care. And so that's kind of part of the things that I can do as well. And part of the primary care also is and welcome to Medicare visit, the initial wellness visit, and then the annual wellness visits, which are routine visits to help identify what routine screenings are going to be needed based on the United States Preventive Services Task Force. That's the group that says, hey, you need a colonoscopy after age 45 or mammograms based on those kind of things. And so we would lay out a plan for those over the next 5 to 10 years. That's the annual wellness visit. Immunizations, I do give immunizations too. We've had some challenges, but I can order the prescription for the immunization. The patient or the family will pick it up, and then I can administer that at the next home visit. By the way, in case anybody's considering it, I had a pneumonia, shingles, and a flu shot all done at the same time. Not good. Don't do that. I wouldn't recommend it. I'm fine now, but wow. And so that's kind of an upshot. The upshot of my philosophy and where I've been and where I'm going. And of course, as was mentioned, I really have a lot of friends over the years and coworkers who are in the LGBT space. And it's horrendous the way they have been treated by healthcare providers. And some of that's not on purpose, right? I found myself the other day, in fact, in talking with somebody who's recovering from narcotic addiction. I said, how long have you been clean? And I'm like, oh, wait, I wasn't supposed to use that word, right? That's not a good word to use. And it falls into that category of microaggression. And so things like when you go to fill out a form and there's male and female, that's a microaggression. There have been stories of folks women who go in and for mammogram or cervical cancer, and they're like, well, what about your husband? And they're like, I don't have a husband. I'm lesbian. I have a wife. And they're like, they repeat that exercise 2 or 3 times at check-in, and then when they're brought back to the room, and then when the provider comes and visits them. And so some of that's not intentional. Some of it there's conscious and unconscious bias, and there's those, like I said, those microaggressions. And we're hearing a lot in the news about systemic racism, and that applies to the LGBT community as well. What else? Right now, my schedule is pretty open, so I have a fairly short turnaround time to seeing patients. One of the problems I've seen over the years with businesses succeeding is they're not prepared for success. And so I have a couple of folks in the wings waiting to help with the, I won't say the need is increased, but we're recognizing, or I'm recognizing the need. Maybe a lot of you already know the need and now have a resource to turn to. And many of you have done that, and I greatly appreciate that. And what else? Oh, I'm working really closely with the Frederick County Fire and Rescue Service. That's a part of my background as a paramedic. I've been very interested in the community paramedicine. And so I've been working with the paramedic quite closely, Matt Bergen, for many different things. And so it's just interesting that he has started in the last handful of months trying to approach Frederick Hospital, Frederick Health, Frederick FMH, whatever they're called, Frederick Health, I think now, for getting a practitioner involved in his effort. And I just happened along at the right time, and we've actually seen a couple of patients together. So we're really starting to gel in that area. And I think I've talked enough.
Well, there's a question in the chat, Doug.
Oh, I see 8 chat things here. Sure, let's go.
Can anybody choose to have a home visit provider, or are there requirements that need to be met?
So Medicare says no. Medicare says anybody can have a home visit by a physician, a PA, or a nurse practitioner. There is a nurse practitioner in the area. Her name is Pam Eaton. She's swamped. I talk with her every so often about stuff. She's like, I'm so glad there's somebody else. The health department has said there's another physician. I know of one other physician who makes the occasional house call up in the Thurmont, Emmitsburg area. Dr. Portier, I don't know how you pronounce her name, but Portier, yeah. And I've never met her, but I know I met a physician who is doing some of her house calls, and he is getting ready to. We are getting ready to work together on helping expand some of that stuff. And so the other thing is, Aetna has said that yep, you can get house calls for their for Aetna. I guess beneficiaries is the right word. The only prerequisite that Aetna had was that I provide an office space if patients want to come to my office. And so I do have a 60 square foot office down off the Golden Mile on Hillcrest. I think it's a cozy little office. It's just big enough to see a patient and somebody with them. So I don't do real serious exams there. I just don't have the room. But once this physician, we figure out our relationship, there might be a way to expand that office capability. And I think by and large, I would prefer, although anybody can come see me, I really want to work on that LGBT population to be able to get in of all ages, adult ages. So that's a long-winded answer to yes. Yes, anybody can choose within those constraints.
Thank you. Doug? Oh,
sure,
Doug.
yeah, ma'am.
Good morning, it's Chris.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm well, and just so everybody knows, Doug is great to work with. We've had a couple of mutual patients. I wanted to ask you if you are doing any COVID testing in the home, and for vaccines or the COVID testing, do they have to be your current patients?
So it turns out I tried to actually bill Medicare for my current patients for just actually giving the shot. It's only like a $10, but they wouldn't do it. So they have to be my patient. As far as COVID testing, I haven't done that yet. I did sign up through the state of Maryland to be a COVID testing facility, and I've got a couple of calls, but the state of Maryland never told me that I was there. And so fortunately, the health department, my little 60 square foot office is about 100 feet behind that health department testing site right there at Hillcrest and Patrick Street. So did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, good morning. Hey, this is Troy Rudy.
Hey,
what other counties besides Frederick do you serve, or is your main focus Frederick?
Frederick and Carroll.
Okay, thank you.
Some of the older, I had wanted to start out in Washington County, and a physician who I knew pretty well was going to be my supervising physician, but he worked for Meritus, and apparently Meritus said no because they were going to get into that space, and so I just kind of stepped out of there.
Anybody else have any questions for Doug? I imagine that we're all probably thinking about some of our clients who could benefit from a physician who would come to the home. Doug, what a great needed service, and I hope that your case base continues to expand.
Thanks. I'm looking forward to establishing a presence and really making an impact, a positive impact on this population.
Yeah. Kind of perfect timing with COVID. Really, it's a great time for people not to be going out. So,
Well, yeah, and then there's the other part about, so now it's a good thing I have all that PPE and my N95s and my gowns, because we're getting ready to ramp up again, right?
that we are. Great. Anybody have any other questions?
How do we contact you?
I'll put it in there, but www.masondixonmed.com is the, has all the relevant information. I'll put a little blurb in here for you in the chat window.
One of my palliative care nurses, this is Lisa Flannery with Carroll Hospice. She just walked by and heard your voice, Doug, and she goes, "Is that Doug Brown? He's awesome. He always gets back to us so quickly." So you have a good reputation. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got actually a couple of patients referred from you in the last couple of days or so.
Good stuff. Thanks, Doug. I don't
Thank
have
you.
a whole lot of ESPC business. I did want to update everybody that tonight is our Compass for Caregivers webinar tonight. Thank you to McGeen White as our speaker tonight. The topic is navigating the holidays. This is the the fourth in our webinar series, and we have been busy planning. I think we've got topics and speaker ideas through June or July. We're still working. So our committee certainly anticipates that's going to we're going to keep going. Rayanne, did you want to say anything?
Thanks, Christina. And next month we have Linda Meyer speaking from Mental Health Association on navigating the detours. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Linda today, since we have McGeen talking this evening. If anyone is interested in exploring the opportunities of how we are selecting topics and speakers, please reach out to any one of us that are on the committee, myself, McGeen, Christina, Mary Collins, who am I missing?
Bonnie Elliott.
Bonnie Elliott. Any one of us, so that we can get your information and see how you might be able to help us with those monthly series.
We've also started a sponsorship opportunity. Sponsorship is available for 1 month or 3 months. We've got 3 sponsors who've committed to 3 months each. So we're booked out, and I think that takes us until about June, but certainly open. That's kind of new territory. We're learning as we go, but sponsorship gives you the opportunity to have your business name recognized, to have a short video presented at the beginning of the event, and then thanked in both the PowerPoint and verbally. So a pretty captive audience. One thing we really absolutely need your help with is marketing. So the events have been running in about the 20-person range, a good number of family caregivers, some professionals, but more names that I don't recognize. So I'm assuming that those are family caregivers. So we really want to expand that. And we know that people are coming into that caregiving role at all different points in time. So we will try to be better about getting that information out to you each month. But if you could keep it top of your mind to share with your families, the flyer, the registration is all on the ESPC website, espcfrederick.com. We also have Troy. Thank you so much to Troy, who has gotten us a YouTube page now. So videos of past webinars are up on that page, and we'll continue to post them so you can see what those events have been like. But definitely, please help us market those. Yes, Julie.
Hi there. McGeen is working on a tech issue right now, but I did, if I can, just want to mention that the Alzheimer's Association is holding the African American Forum, which was due to be held on the Eastern Shore, but because of COVID, it is being held virtually. And that is a total of 4 weekends. 1 weekend already happened, but it will happen again this Saturday, then November 21st. And then we're skipping the Thanksgiving weekend, but again, December 5th. And I put it in the chat. And if you want more information or would like to share that with others, please contact McGeen directly at mewhite@alz.org.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think I know for me that all the webinar and training opportunities that are out there are really awesome. Things that would have been hard to squeeze into a busy day before, whether you're professional or a family caregiver. Hopefully these webinars, this new digital format, is giving people who wouldn't otherwise do it access to do it. So help spread the word for all of them. That's great. Anybody have any other business? Any other questions? or event information to share?
I have one announcement, and I'm excited because a couple of our partners are on this call with us. And a lot of us ask about holiday gift giving for seniors in need. And this year, SOAR is going to step up and give out gift bags to low-income seniors and seniors in need, along with a holiday meal. This is not the Thanksgiving meal. This will be more of a Christmas time meal. And so last year they gave out 120 bags. They're going to try to meet that same number this year. The drop-off locations for gifts for the bags are Ballinger Creek, Country Meadows, Spring Arbor. Hi, Pam. Thank you for being a drop-off center. Frederick Health Home Health and Right at Home. The drop-off dates are from Monday, and we're going to send this flyer out. Troy, I'm going to ask you to send this flyer out if you'd be so kind, so y'all don't have to memorize this information. So from Monday, November 16th through Friday, December 11th, you can drop off items that will go to seniors in a little gift bag. They keep it pretty straightforward. A male and female bag, just because there are not a lot of people to work out details with this. They ask for personal hygiene items, shampoo, hand lotion, stationery is a big request, slipper, socks, scarves, candy, maybe even sugar-free candy and things like that. So any gifts can be dropped off at these areas. They will be sanitized and handled very, very carefully. They will be delivered in a safe way that of course follows all the CDC protocols, and given with a holiday meal. So if you want to be part of that, we sure would love for you to.
Excellent. Good stuff. Definitely holidays different than ever before.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything else? We've got a short group. I'm happy to go through some quick introductions if you guys want to do that.
I just want to ask real quick. I'm excited for our Christmas lunch, our breakfast.
LOL, Elmer. Thank you for bringing that up. You know what? That just snuck up on me. Obviously, this is not the year that we will be meeting together for a holiday breakfast, which is really sad because that's always such a great idea. But our board is meeting. Maybe we can come up with something fun for our December meeting. I honestly didn't even think about it. Thanks, Elmer.
That's why I brought it up, because I know we're going to have to discuss that coming up.
Elmer, the party planner. Gosh. Crazy. Crazy. Doug Profiter, are you still on the phone?
I am, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So we've got some time if we typically go through some introductions. Doug, you are new with us today. Do you just want to give us a really quick hello and what your new business is?
I will. Thank you very much. And it's been nice to listen to this conversation. I just started something. I mean, I'm only a couple of weeks into it, to be honest with you, and it's just me in my house. But I've got a new consulting effort I'm going to try. It's called Catoctin Advisors. And what I want to do is focus principally on people over 60. You've probably heard, horror stories when someone dies and no one knows where the documents are, or the siblings are fighting about who gets the lamp, and that kind of stuff. Maybe there aren't any kids, and so now there's a widow on her own, and she hasn't paid the bills in 45 years or something. So what I want to do is try to be the person who gets in the middle and organizes everything, figures it all out, and has a plan. There's lawyers who do this kind of stuff, but I don't know how deep they go, and frankly, lawyers aren't really necessary for just about everything that gets done. And so my contention is there's hundreds of people in the community that don't have a will, they don't have their estates and affairs in order, and maybe they don't want to drive to Frederick, they don't want to pay a lawyer, they don't think they need to do anything, and they've got a lot of time, and the consequences can be disastrous. And you probably all know this much better than I, given your experiences. So the three things that I think I can do, the first would be to get in there before anybody needs me, sit down with somebody for a couple of hours and go through a checklist kind of a form that I've created and really figure out where are the documents, what needs to be signed, who needs the beneficiary form. Let's do an inventory of everything you've got. So, you know, when you reach the end of the road, we're all going to get there. Everything's already tied up in a bow and it can be easily gone through. And so the second thing would be to be the person who does that, who, you know, you'd write me into your will as the person who is your representative rather than your oldest son who lives 4 states away, or your 78-year-old spouse who is not going to want to do this kind of stuff. You know, make it me. And so I'll already have been with you. I'll already have a catalog of all of your affairs, and I'll just put in the documents with the court and execute and move on. Everybody still gets whatever they're supposed to get. It's just more organized and it's faster and it's unbiased. And then the third thing, there's going to be somebody surviving who's not paid the bills in 40 years or who isn't great with a checkbook or doesn't have a plan. And so I can sit down with that person and just talk about, you know, how much is coming in and what needs to go out, and let's figure out how we're going to get it done. And if somebody wants, I mean, what I can do is just be the bill pay service. So we'll figure out, you know, these are the 10 things you're going to owe every month, and here's the night. It's going to cost you $1,500. I'll just have an escrow account. You put the $1,500 in. I'll pay all your bills. I'll send you all the proof that I paid everything. You know, and maybe that's easier for somebody. So all of those things can be done without a lawyer. If somebody wants a lawyer, I'm happy to connect them to a lawyer or an investment advisor, an insurance agent, whatever it is. I'm going to want to make sure that the person gets all of the support and service that they need. So the hook that I'm trying, at least for now, until somebody tells me it's stupid, is you only die once, so you owe it to your survivors to make it easier on them. So that's kind of where I am. Somebody that I've spoken to a bunch of people in the community already about the idea, and I've gotten some encouragement. Somebody, and you guys can help me on this. Somebody encouraged me to look into helping people qualify for Medicaid, not necessarily being a Medicaid expert, but being the paperwork person. They make you jump through 40 hoops, and maybe that's too much for some of these folks. Has that been an issue that's come up with any of you?
It's certainly not a simple process, that's for sure.
So how do we learn more? Do you have a website? How do you actually market your services?
Yeah, I do have a simple website that makes plain. I did it myself, but it is out there. It's catoctonadvisors.com. I do have some little marketing cards that I've created that I've distributed into a couple of. I'm in Thurmont, and my goal would be to kind of stay up here if I can. I certainly will go other places, but I was going to try to, my goal is to not get big enough that I ever need to get out of my house or that I ever need to have another employee. So if I need to go to Washington County, I'll do it. If I need to go to Frederick, I'm happy to do it. It just, my belief is there's enough people in this northern county area that would sort of be my, target client, and that remains to be seen. But a lot of what I'm going to have to do, particularly in this COVID period where, senior centers are closed and nobody's gathering anywhere, is reach out through other trusted partners. So that could be everybody on this call who now knows I exist. But, I've reached out to some people who are selling Medicare insurance. I've reached out to an investment guy. I've reached out to some politicians. I've just been working my way through the community, and so what I'll be doing is using churches and other kinds of partners who can say, and I know I've got somebody in my congregation. I want them to meet you. That sort of thing. And until I can, go into a library and do a presentation or I was down at the senior center yesterday, but they're not open. So I can't go stand there while they're eating their lunch and tell them that I exist. So through organizations like yours, through the ones that I've mentioned, that's how I'm going to have to be doing it for the most part early on.
Well, we're glad that you found us, Doug. Keep coming and hopefully make some new connections. And if you want to, I was just going to say, put your information in the chat box, but I know that you're on the telephone right now. So we can help connect you to everybody else.
But Doug, one thing is I'm going to throw in, we're going to be doing our 2021 membership soon. And one of the benefits is you can get listed on the ESPC website.
Yeah, I did see that. So thank you for that.
Thanks, Troy.
It's in like January, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, more details to follow after the board meets next week. Thanks. All
Thanks
right.
very much for giving me a minute.
Yep, glad to have you. Anybody else want to do an introduction, say hello? Anybody?
Yeah, Christine, I just wanted to mention that I am recruiting for a volunteer call specialist class for January. So if you have anyone who's interested, this is a great opportunity to get involved in the community. It is a demanding kind of volunteer opportunity, but especially for someone who's interested in social work, anything in the mental health field, this is a great experience. So I put my email in the chat. So have that way that probably
I think we're losing some
way to get
internet connection
started.
from Linda, but hopefully you can see her contact information in the chat, and we can email this chat out after the meeting. Thanks, Linda.
Sure.
You guys want to go through quick hellos or call it a day? Anybody? Anybody?
Hey, Christina.
Yes.
I just want to say thanks so much to, I put it in the chat as well, but I just wanted to give a verbal and a hello and a thank you for everyone at ESPC who supported the Walk to End Alzheimer's this year in this very unusual time we find ourselves to be living. But, you know, special shout outs to, well, I better not start because I might forget someone, but Pam Dalton and Eileen. And where's, uh-oh, no, I don't see her. She's not here today. Give me a shout. Oh, and to Troy, thank you. But to everyone who joined Walk this year and did your best to make it whatever you wanted it to be, wherever it was, at whatever time, thank you for that. And we actually did really well. We're somewhere in the mid 60s towards goal, our original goal before COVID. So I feel really good about that. It's just pretty unbelievable. And we had great sponsorship support as well, which thank you to all our area businesses who jumped in and supported us that way as well. So
kudos to you guys for totally pivoting and creating something magical out of a disaster, you know, so way to go, Julie.
Yeah.
Lots of effort on your part.
Lots of help. Thanks so much.
Excellent.
Hey, Christina.
Yes, Katrina, hi.
Hi. I just wanted to let everybody know that Agewell Senior Fitness is now providing a Parkinson's specific personal training program called PD Fit. So we have a framework of best practices for working with Parkinson's clients. This program is for somebody who maybe has had PT and been discharged from physical therapy and wants one-on-one personal training. There's all kinds of, you know, monthly, it's out of pocket. It's a monthly fee, and there's all levels of, you know, once a week to twice a week to a VIP program that includes all of us bringing all of the equipment to the home and keeping it at the home and that type of thing. So all of my trainers are very knowledgeable in working with Parkinson's, and it's one of the things that I absolutely love. And one of the diagnoses that is exercise is paramount for people with Parkinson's. It's a non-negotiable. It has to be done because it can really change the progression of the disease. So we started that, and that's on our website.
Excellent. Way to go. Thanks, Katrina. What a great service. All right. Anybody else got anything? Keep doing what you're doing, everybody. Be safe. Be careful. It is good to see everybody. So we'll be together in December. That is December 10th. We will not be dining at Dutch's Daughter, but I'm sure we'll come up with something clever to celebrate the holidays. So stick with us. We'll be in touch. Don't forget tonight's webinar, and please share that with any of your constituents or family members or friends who might be in a caregiving position with stress and anxiety about the upcoming holidays. So we'll be glad to have you. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Have a great day, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.